Hello, welcome back to another video. Once again you find me in the beautifully sunny, cold Lincolnshire countryside. And those buildings just there is the site of the old former RAF Hemswell, which just happens to be supposedly one of the most haunted former RAF bases in the country. Now Lincolnshire is known as Bomber County. I'm very proud of it, we are as well, very proud of it. It was home to 46 airfields, and during World War II it was home to about 80,000 RAF personnel and about 1,000 aircraft. But this area was absolutely littered with RAF bases in World War II. We've got Brighton, which is about 5 miles that way, Hemswell. There was RAF Ingham, Scampton, which is probably the most famous. We had RAF Skellingthorpe, and then a little bit further south of Lincoln. There's Waddington, Cranwell, Coningsby, which is quite famous as well. So as I said, Lincolnshire was known as Bomber County, and Bomber Command was formed in 1936. And then New Year's Eve later that same year is when RAF Hemswell was opened, and it was actually Handley Page Hamden's, a bit of a tongue twister, flying out of Hemswell that was the first aircraft to drop bombs on Germany during World War II. So our first port of call is just at the bottom of this track down here. We've got a couple of bits of the original runway still in place. On a bit of a farmer's access track at the minute. It's been claimed back as farmland, but this track isn't part of the original runway. It follows the route of the runway, but this part got dug up and it got used for hardcore for the A180 motorway. Right, so we're stood now on part of the old runway, the original runway. Along here, so they've gone that way, and the other part, which is still original, is just where the mounds of soil and bits and bobs are, just up there. So one runway would have gone that way, and as I said, that one would have gone that way. Just used for storage now. As you saw there, you can see better from above the two original parts of the runway, just used for storage of hay and farmers' bits and bobs now. I have to apologise for my squinting because the sun's right in my bloody eyes. But our first ghostly going on can be seen or heard out in these fields, and I don't trip over. So on certain nights, certain clear, quiet nights, if you come out into the middle of these fields, you might just hear the rumbling of those magnificent Merlin engines from the Lancaster bombers, even though the base has been shut for 60 odd years or whatever it is, and there's no flight path going above. Those spooky, eerie, ghostly engines from the Lancaster bomber can be heard. There's been strange sightings of an airman on fire running around the place before disappearing into thin air. Another strange going on. People reported hearing 1940s music in some of the buildings as well. Another story tells of a Polish airman with an eye patch who stopped and talked to people before again just disappearing. And a little backstory to RAF Hemswell. I don't know if you can make out, there's some blue trailers down there and a hangar next to it. Well, the hangar next to it, I used to work in there, but in that building we used to make porta cabins and modular buildings and stuff like that. Now, this one particular day I was in this porta cabin. I can't remember exactly what I was doing in there, but if you imagine a porta cabin, rectangular, got a window on the end and a window on one of the sides. I just happened to look out one of the windows, and past it walked a person. I thought was a person, as clear as I'm stood here talking to you now, in the sort of stereotypical RAF green uniform. And the person that I thought it was, because I did stick my head out the window, and the person that I thought it was down, way down the other side of the factory, the opposite way to where this person was walking. So that was my experience with the ghostly figure of Merlin, which was the company name back in the day. So that'd be what? I've been knocking on 20 years ago now, that. And please don't think I'm just making that story up just for dramatic effect, because I'm not 100%. I'm not. There's people. I've got people that can back me up and corroborate the story as well. Because, like I say, they had sightings of it and strange goings on in the night and all that sort of stuff. And I'm prepared to believe it, because I know exactly what I saw. And yeah, that was my little ghostly experience. So yeah, I'm not saying I particularly believe in ghosts, but I know what I saw that day, and that to me was one of the ghosts of Hemswell RAF base. And if you've seen the old Dam Busters movie, you'll already know what this place looked like in World War II. Because even though the Dam Busters raids, Operation Chastise, flew from Scampton about 7 or 8 miles down the road, due to its similarity to Scampton, RAF Hemswell was actually used for filming the Dam Busters movie. And you can quite clearly see, I might see if I can pinch a couple of stills and post them up, but on the film a lot of it's filmed sort of this area and filmed towards that way, and you can clearly see the hangars, the old hangars in the movie, and a lot of the original mess buildings and the parade ground and bits and bobs, which we'll come to later. They're in the movie as well. But you can just imagine this place, can't you? Absolutely full of Lancasters, Wellingtons, all those amazing brave men. What a place this must have been during the war. The base has definitely changed in terms of new industry over the years, but it's one of the few old bases that's still got a lot of its original hangars, buildings and its road network. But last time I personally saw the Lancaster come over here, it was a couple of years ago, when the Lanc from Battle of Britain Memorial flight at Coningsby, on the night of the 80th anniversary of the Dam Buster raids, 16th of May, it did a bit of a tour and a fly past a load of airfields in this area, and it come straight off of that hangar there. I've got a video of it, I'll pop it on. It's not great, it was hastily filmed on not the greatest phone camera, to be fair, but make sure you turn it up and listen to those beautiful Merlin engines. Bomber Command used this base as a missile unit during the Cold War, which held 3 Thor ballistic nuclear missiles for about 4 years between 1959 and 1963, and each missile contained 1 megaton nuclear warhead. We don't learn, do we, looking at today's situation? But for about 10 days during the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962, the base was actually on maximum alert for a couple of weeks. It's frightening, really. So as I said, all this roadway that heads round is all the original. Well, it's not the original tarmac, obviously, but it follows the same route, the original route of what it used to be like. Is where the hangars were. I think there's 4. I could be wrong. I think there's 4. But now, all this area, it's massive on a Sunday. Massive car boot. You're not from Lincolnshire if you've not been to Hemswell car boot to get all your dodgy DVDs and so your fishing tackle and stuff. But yeah, it's quite really popular. But I'm not going to do a massive amount of filming down here because it's quite noisy. As you can see, there's modern factory units, and I think there's a big plastics recycling place on here, which actually burnt down a few years ago, and that was a huge fire that could be seen for miles around that. But yeah, original hangars. These are the hangars that you can see in the Dam Busters film when they're all just before they set off to fly, when they're all sat around and they get the call to go. These are the hangars that you see. I think it is actually filmed from down that far end. But I'm going to take a walk down that far end, so I'm not going to do much filming because it's quite noisy, so I'll catch up with you at the other end. Well, this has certainly changed. That's the hangar there where I used to work, my little experience in. And this bit of tarmac here is also where I taught, on personal note, taught my daughter to drive for the first time when she was 7 or 8. Just go up and down here, do a little roundabout around there. But yeah, it's just changed loads now. Bit of a trailer park and storage, grain storage silos over there. And that's where the old runway was, where those straw bales are. Right, I'm going to head off now towards some of the living quarters and the parade ground and whatnot, and I'll pick you up back when we're there. Right, so we've made it from over where the hangars were. We're now where the parade ground would have been, which is now the car park for this place, which is Hemswell Antique Centre, which has made use of all the old RAF buildings. Now they're one of the biggest antique centres in Europe. As you can see, we're just sat at the memorial. And this is another place where ghostly goings on have been noted. People have reported seeing airmen stood talking and smoking at the memorial. Right, so back at the car. Only a little short walk today. I think I've only done maybe 4 miles, if that, 3.5, 4 miles. Just parked in the village and kind of zigzag my way through and then back round through the airbase. But yeah, as always, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this one, something a little bit different. I'm going to try and throw a few of these in because there's loads of little areas of Lincolnshire I want to try and explore and stick on video for hopefully you to enjoy. Yeah, I'm going to go home and have a cup of tea and some biscuits. I'm a 80-year-old man stuck in a 42, getting ahead of myself there, 41-year-old's body. But yeah, so until next time, whoever that may be, stay safe, keep talking, and I shall see you very soon. Thanks for watching again. Bye bye.